Hello and welcome along to Fraser Park, Ballpark, here in the heart of the beautiful Hutt Valley. We're here for the Softball New Zealand 2024 Under-19 Boys Championship. Day 3, game 28, I think it is. And we have Franklin taking on Auckland on Sorensen Field, which is the number 1 diamond here at Fraser Park. It's named Sorensen Field, so we will go with that. It's a nice-ish day here, and I'm Gary Rohe for Ballpark Broadcasting. Joining me in colour commentary is my compadre, Mr. Joe Farizo, local softball identity. Joe, and welcome along. How are you?
Yeah, good, Gary. Thanks for having me here. Good to see the weather's cleared and should only get better throughout the day. Franklin's been a bit of a surprise team this tournament, and look forward to calling a game with you.
Well, Franklin, I mean, I don't know how surprising they can be now because they actually qualified first in their pool. So this is 1v3 in the crossover games. So Auckland came third in the other pool. So there we have Franklin, a new association, South Auckland, Pukekohe South. Little towns like Pocono and Tuakau and all those sorts of little towns down south of Auckland are all included in that. So if you haven't heard of Franklin, that's where they are, and they're not taking anybody by surprise with the way they're playing now. Certainly early in the tournament they might have, but they showed up last year and finished 4th in their first national tournament.
Yeah, good to see another association popping up, getting a new catchment of players coming in, and could only be good for the growth of softball up in that region.
Yeah, they actually play in the Auckland competition as a team, Franklin. So, yeah, so growth in the sport, which is what we want. Hopefully they'll have a few more teams to follow along, and we'll see some healthy numbers coming out of that, which is actually a pretty big catchment for softball. However, we've got number 1, Kyle Roberts, in to bat for Auckland. The game has just got underway. Franklin have taken the first 2 outs. Nathan Ruhi was the lead-off hitter, followed by Joey Hill. We'll have the teams up for you very shortly. Kyle Roberts, big lad, he's batted pretty well for this Auckland, but he's always at the forefront of the cheer squad in the dugout. Very animated young man. A nice job done by the Franklin pitcher.
Yeah, that one just painted the corner. Probably too close to take, but yeah, good strikeout for that pitcher.
Rikaya Tefero is the pitcher for Franklin, and Auckland head to the dugout at the end of the top of the first innings with no score, 1, 2, and 3 and out, and we'll be back with more action in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we've had the top of the first innings complete, and Auckland were 1, 2, 3 and out in that one. Franklin up to bat now. The lead-off hitter for Franklin, Richard Terudi. There you see Gary Rohe, Joe Fraser on your screen there. We're your commentators today. But Auckland made their way through the section they were in via some pretty decent games against especially Hutt Valley, especially North Harbour. The Battle of the Bridge yesterday was quite good. There's the Auckland lineup for you. We'll just quickly run through it. We've got number 34 Sendon at right field, Whittle at centre field, Jackson Buchan, and then Max Russell at shortstop, Joey Hill at second base. In the hot corner is Nathan Ruhi. First base is Kyle Roberts. Cyril Wilson doing the pitching to Casey Hutchinson behind the dish. and that is the Auckland defensive lineup for you.
Yeah, as you said, that Auckland North Harbour game was a barn burner, and then
Just interrupt you there. We've got the Franklin batting lineup. Sorry, Joe.
That's okay.
But we'll just quickly run through that. Their leadoff hitter, Richard Terude, followed by Jamie Joseph. Kātini Huriwai is followed by Tipini Kennedy, Noah Leao Pepe Tele, Xavier Haddon, Rikaya Te Whioro, Brooklyn Mariu Apiata, Carlos McCabe Davis, and rounds out their order. Up to bat, Richard Terude. Had an opportunity to have a quick catch up with the Franklin coach a little while back, earlier this morning, and obviously he's saying all the usual things about the boys. He says they're just treated as another game. Day 3 is obviously the big moving day for these guys to start positioning themselves for final positions. If that's going to happen, we don't know what the results are, Joe, yet.
No, day 3 is a moving day, and it's one of the most exciting parts of the tournament. It's what separates the good teams.
Well, we just saw a tiebreaker game, which is what put the schedule a little bit behind this morning. Prior to this was Waikato v Hutt Valley Development, and in the end it was Hutt Valley Development that came out the winners of that one. Not 100% of the score. I think it was about 8-5. A very tight game that went to tiebreaker. We had 2 tiebreaker games yesterday. They are great games to commentate, and they're always exciting to watch, but they do put the schedule a little bit behind.
No doubt. Oh, it's good to have all of the games in yesterday after that weather. And then for us just to be here, the day seems to be brightening up, and looks like we'll get a full day of softball today also.
Of course, as usual, the Hutt Valley Softball Association have turned the park here in the Hutt Valley into a real picture. It's absolutely beautifully prepared.
Yeah, the outfield looks great. They got the Pahuta cows all popping out with the colour.
Just a reminder that we've just recently had Christmas. Yeah. Happy New Year to everybody listening. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Richard Terude. There we go. He goes down looking at a pitch from Cyril Wilson on the inside corner of the plate. Cyril Wilson, I watched him pitch the tiebreaker 8 innings. He went yesterday for Auckland, and Auckland really struggled, I suppose, with the North Harbour defence for 6.5 innings before they erupted to the tune of about 12 runs in an innings and a half. And poor old North Harbour, after being in command for most of that game, found themselves on the end of a pretty decent scoreline after 8 innings. 12-4, I think it ended up being.
Yeah, the score didn't really reflect the tight game that was being played.
Yeah, that's right, and Auckland just did enough to hang in there. They were struggling with the North Harbour pitcher, Rourke Crew, and who did a fantastic job until all of a sudden Auckland was like flipping a switch.
Swing!
There we go, just to check on that. Now, there have been plenty of ask for the checks on the swing. I'm yet to see one given on Diamond 1 yet.
Yeah, the Blues stick together, I think. Unless it's very obvious.
Yes. That is not an indication that some of them were actual swings. It just means that they've been very consistent about that call. Jamie Joseph up to bat for Franklin, number 56. Now, a lot of these Franklin players, probably similar to you, Joe, are very new to me.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been involved in the boys' game for quite a while now. I've been involved with the women. But it's great to be back watching these youngsters aspire to higher levels.
This one straight back to Wilson. It goes between his legs. It's gone all the way up to centre field. So it kind of meandered its way between about 6 players all the way through to centre field. It was a beautifully placed hit in the end by Jamie Joseph.
He was just trying to protect a little bit and got the meat of the bat on the ball and took it right up to centre field.
Katini Huriwai, number 61, comes in for Franklin.
Hey.
It's a name that is familiar to me. He's an accomplished young softballer. Goes at a curving rise ball from Cyril Wilson. Would have been hard for anyone to hit.
Yeah, that was a nice pitch.
No. Not too low.
Of course, Franklin come in as the top qualifiers in Pool A, I think it is. And Auckland came to the crossover section as third place qualifiers in Pool B. Could be the other way around. If I'm wrong, I apologise. That is their placings though. Wellington was second place in that pool behind Franklin. And North Harbour, Auckland must be second, my apologies. North Harbour were third. And Hutt Valley qualified top in the other pool.
Foul ball.
Been pretty impressive, the battery for Auckland over the last few days. Good pitcher-catcher combinations. They did struggle with their infield, to be fair, in the first 4 innings of the North Harbour game before getting it together to take out the win. Nice strikeout by Wilson. He strikes out Huriwai for the second out of the innings. That'll bring to bat number 75, Tipani Kennedy.
Play.
Yeah, Cyril Wilson has a nice little rise ball, has a bit of curve on it, and you can see these Franklin batters just shortening up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time through, so a lot of them are getting a look at it. They do play in the Auckland competition, so I'm assuming that these boys have all seen each other in competition before. And that one clears the commentary as we were all waiting for it to rattle the roof. Foul ball there for you. It's an interesting day. We have seen some favourites emerge. I mean, obviously the top 3 in each pool will be favoured initially to go deep, but we have seen some good games from some of the other teams that are here, Waikato counties, and obviously Hutt Valley Development, the teams that finish a little bit lower down the ladder. But a feature has been that most of the teams are competitive.
Yeah, well, seeing Hutt Valley have 2 teams is always a good sign for the softball. And they had their first win against Waikato this morning, so that would raise their spirits a bit.
Yeah, the game against Waikato, as we mentioned, was a tiebreaker game. Hutt Valley have a couple of guest pitchers for this season. One playing in the A team for Hutt Valley, and he's a Canadian, Nick Need, and one we've just seen from Europe.
Let's go.
Both pitchers. There we go. We'll just quickly run through the Franklin batting lineup.
What's going on, boys?
There we go on screen for you. We have this is the defensive lineup. My apologies. There we go. We'll go out to right field where Jamie Joseph is there. Jaden Hewitt at centre. Carlos McCabe Davis at left field. Noah Lau Pepetele at shortstop. At third base in the hot corner, Richard Teruri. Xavier Haddon at second base, Tipani Kennedy. At first base, Rikaya Tefioro is doing the pitching to Katini Huriwai.
Play ball.
As we just stayed with the ball game for the commencement now of the top of the second innings.
Yes!
Already possibly an indication of the sort of ball game that we're going to be in for here. Joe.
That's good clipping on the
Oh,
inside.
yeah, that's an excellent pitch right there on the inside corner.
There's a nice rise ball for strike 2.
Yeah, I've been impressed with the pace and also the movement of some of these pitches.
Yeah, both the pitches on show have good velocity. I don't know if you'd call it extreme pace, but yeah, very good velocity. Probably 2 of the faster pitches we've seen on Diamond 1 in the last couple of days, maybe along with Ethan Grant from Wellington and Nick Need from Hutt Valley.
Yeah, close though. Very close.
Yeah, nice little low riser there. Just missed.
Maybe with the other batter. A little bit shorter than you. 1 ball, 2.
It's good to see that all the teams are fielding 2 and in some cases 3. Fairly even, fairly good pitches at a time when our sport is in desperate need of more pitching. It's good to see so many being represented in all the teams.
Absolutely.
You know what it's like, Joe. You often you come with an ace, and sometimes, especially at this time in the tournament, it becomes the man that you see more regularly. But all teams can have the tactic of pitching maybe 3 or 4 innings and making a change.
Yeah, I guess it's important that you just don't beat these youngsters up, and you have to have another pitcher or 2 in the stable.
Well, 2 balls and 2 strikes on number 20, Max Russell. He's a clean-up hitter in the Auckland lineup, comes in at number 4. He's batted pretty well. He's turned on that one. They're going to check this time. Still no swing. Shoulder and hips came around, but to be fair, the bat stayed up.
Yep. Good call. Very good at bat by Max.
3 balls, 2.
So we've got a loaded counter on Max Russell. I have been, and he finds an outside corner. That's a beautiful pitch.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Max Russell agreed with it, but that was a very good pitch.
Nah, that was right on the corner. It was a good pitch.
0 tolerance. Thank you.
Yeah, he did voice some displeasure, and where we have the Auckland batting lineup for the second innings. We'll quickly go through that for you. Lead off for them, Nathan Ruhi, Joey Hill, followed by Kyle Roberts. Number 4 comes in, Max Russell, you've just seen. Cyril Wilson up to bat now. Casey Hutchinson, followed by Wade Sendon. Jackson Buchanan and Jaden Little round out the Auckland lineup. Cyril Wilson has hit one high out to left field. It's going to go shallow. It's going to land on the grass. And he's going to be standing up with a stand-up single.
Yeah, the ball's not carrying as much right now. It's pretty humid out there. The air's heavy.
Yeah.
And so as we saw in the last game with that little pop fly into right center field, this ball just dropped in. It's not going to carry just yet because we still have a bit of dampness in the air.
Well, Cyril Wilson, we talked about him. He pitched the 8 innings against North Harbour, but he also came up and hit an automatic grand slam over the centre field fence. So he's rapidly becoming one of the go-to men for this Auckland squad. And I wouldn't say rapidly, I'd say he's absolutely essential to them with the way he bats and the way he pitches. But there we see a little prop fly in the infield. And that is an out, and that was Casey Hutchinson for the second out. That brings to bat number 34, Wade Sendon. So the first opportunity of both teams with a runner. Certainly for Auckland. Yeah, Jamie Joseph managed to get on, of course, for Franklin. Two down here in the second innings. Nice call on the inside of the plate from the blue. It's not always a call that the Blues sort of will give too readily. This time it's the steal by Wilson. He's just gone down to second base.
You notice the catcher talking to the umpire, just seeing what's being called.
Yep.
Trying to get a little rapport with him.
As catchers do, they always establish a rapport with the umpire, you know, and it's a good thing too. Just make sure they're both on the same page. That one high in the zone, fended off by Sendon.
Yep. Let's get him on base first. Time's out here.
Speaking about being on the same page, Joe, we've got the catcher wanting to have a talk to the pitcher. Maybe that pitch wasn't quite where he asked for it.
Yeah, it was a little too down the middle. But the umpire goes out with them just to make sure that they don't slow the game down too much.
Yeah, and just to make sure the conversation is not about what kind of burger they're going to have after the game. It's another pitch which Sendon manages to keep out front. It looks to me like he's just trying to settle on that inside edge of the plate, which is not a bad idea. The Blues giving it to him. This time low and inside.
Yeah, these Auckland batters are pretty disciplined. And
yeah, we talked about it in the first 2 days. Some of the infields were a little bit loose. Auckland were guilty of it themselves. But we always said that as the tournament goes on, the boys will warm into it, as we see a nice strikeout by Wade Sendon. That sends Auckland back to the dugout. No score in this ball game. We've had 1.5 innings complete so far, and the scores are still a 0-0. We'll be back in just a minute with more action from Fraser Ballpark.
What's he up to now?
Probably working on his career.
Oh. Beep, beep. What are you up to, Matai?
Reversing.
Have you got your ticket?
Yep. I start a new job driving a forklift on Monday.
I thought you worked in an office.
Don't limit yourself, Brian. It's never too late to make smarter choices. How's Karen?
Take control of your career with Trade Staff.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Sorensen Field here at Fraser Ballpark, where we've got game 28 on the schedule. Franklin taking on Auckland. We're in the bottom of the second innings. There is no score to this proceedings. It's going to be a pretty tight affair, I think, throughout the ball game. We have seen teams that can erupt for an inning. Certainly Auckland can. This is my first look at Franklin. But the way they've been winning ball games, I'm pretty sure they can as well. Nice strikeout by Cyril Wilson, who strikes out number 67, Noah Lau Pepetele. That'll bring to bat number 55, Xavier Haddon. There we go, the other team out on the diamond there, the team in blue. At home plate, we have Himi Orupe. At first base, Kevin Sheehy. And patrolling all the way out there at third base is Jill Farquhar. The other team, the team in blue.
A great crew. Jill's come up from Invercargill, traveling.
Bottom. Good good to see, Jill. I know she does live down all the way down there, so what dedication to her sport. Because although they do get compensated, I don't know if that would extend to that sort of distance travelled, but nice job.
Yeah, she's doing quite a few tournaments this year. I spoke to her before the game. Just like the players practice, the umpires need to do as many games as possible to get their eye in also, and she takes a lot of pride in her umpiring.
Yes, I've seen her over a number of years. Does a fantastic job along with the rest of our blue community. Hini Orupe, you'll hear on the graphic on the sound, we have him fully mic'd up. Leaves everybody in no doubt in his balls and strikes.
Yeah.
Nice loud call. So 2 straight sort of strikeouts here in the bottom of the second innings for Cyril Wilson. Both pitchers seem to have started strongly in this one and making it very difficult for the batters. At the moment, Rikaya Tefiora, the pitcher for Franklin, up to bat right now. So pitcher battles are always interesting ones. They do like to strike each other out.
3.
But Cyril Wilson also showing him some respect by pitching around the zone as well. There we go, follows up the 2 strikeouts with a walk. That's going to bring to bat. He's DP in the lineup, number 73, Brooklyn, Mariu Apiata. And we have a runner coming in on the pitcher rule for Franklin. That runner will be their last out, which is Xavier Haddon.
Play.
Now, I was having a word with the Franklin coach earlier, and he mentioned that in their first tournament in national tournaments, they finished 4th. He had T-shirts printed for the team. He showed me one. He's wearing it right now. And on the front of it, it says, now, excuse me for this, people, it says, where the F is Franklin. So just in case nobody hadn't heard of them before their first national tournament, they certainly had afterwards.
Well, you're not going to lose them on the field either in those orange strips.
Yeah, they're very distinctive.
Fluorescent orange.
Yes, along with counties, they're probably 2 of the brighter teams at the tournament. Of course, we're used to the traditional colours with Auckland, they're blue and white, and Hutt Valley, they're green and gold, and Wellington, they're black and gold. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Canterbury, the red and black.
You can see the coach for Franklin also just being a little aggressive, stole second base and had the runner go in the third on the last pitch.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Mariu Apiata. Obviously, there's another steal. Doesn't matter though, because that's Cyril Wilson takes his 3rd strikeout of the bottom of the second innings. The runner gets the 2, but they don't impact the scoreboard. 2 complete, 0-0 is the score. We'll be back in just a minute.
You got good. Look really good.
He might not look like much in an apron, but that's John Miller, loving husband, relatively reliable plumber, and holder of the Bledisloe Cup and 2 Investex Super Rugby titles. Don't let the heels fool you. Wendy crushed 2 of the biggest names in men's tennis to go all the way at Wimbledon. Tony, one of New Zealand's most impressive multi-sport players. Multi. Try playing and taking out a rugby league grand final, a grand slam, and the New Zealand Cup all at once. Mary Adams came from nothing to take Cleveland to the playoffs. Where to next? Well, she won the New Zealand Derby with Ginger Nuts. Finally, meet Richard Sykes, a man with many loves, 80s hip-hop, his dog Bark Twain, and winning, specifically, the Cup final at Wembley. Now it's you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got what's shaping up to be a very tight ball game here between Franklin and Auckland. Joe Fraser, it'd be fair to say it's been pitcher dominated up to this point.
Oh, no doubt about it. These pitchers are class acts, and they got a lot of movement. They got good pace. And at the moment, just as we spoke, a big fly ball was hit. Again, didn't carry as much with the moisture that's in the air, but well hit. And going around the lineup, maybe, and the players seeing them a little bit more, will start getting the bats going.
Yeah, it's a good point you make. Jaden Whittle is the bottom of the order. And things do tend to change a little bit once batters start to get their second look at the pitches. So Jaden Whittle comes in after the pop fly from Jackson Buchan. He's back in the dugout, the first out here in the top of the third innings. Nathan Ruhi, the leadoff hitter in the on-deck circle for Auckland. But we're also seeing that little bit of blue sky that was invading before just starting to disappear over there. Joe, you're a Hutt Valley man. What's happening? What's going on?
Oh, it'll come and go, I think, throughout the day, but I think we're going to be in for a full day of softball.
Oh, no doubt.
And the sun will peek through at some point.
So if you've got nowhere else you need to be, or even if you want to make a point of it, come on down. We've got some classic Hutt Valley softball going on at the moment with the Under-19 National Tournament here at Fraser Park. It's a great entertainment, top quality sport. Come down, take a spot on the grass, bring a picnic, have a great day. Inside on Jaden Whittle this time. Get some swinging at the rise ball on the inside.
2 balls, 2.
Of course, we've got the women's ladies playing in Palmerston North at Calhoun Ballpark. The equivalent tournament, the women's under-19 tournament is happening up there at the moment. I'm not 100% sure how things are going there. I know we have had a few results through for Hutt Valley, who are steaming along nicely as it happens. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Jaden Whittle. So good luck to them. I will be up there tomorrow for the grand final. So Ballpark Broadcasting and Atiawa Toa FM will bring you that grand final from Palmerston North. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, it's great to see all of the games being streamed, but, with Palmy tomorrow having that final getting done by yourself and some of the other staff from the broadcasting crew. And highlighting the women's game as much as the men's.
Oh, absolutely! It's fantastic. I'll be backing that up with also taking the grand final with the under-17s in Auckland, the under-17 girls team. So we'll see you up there as well.
You'll be earning your air points.
Yeah, I think I'm earning Chopper's air points. Well, there we go. Auckland get a runner on base, and Jaden Whittle, he's out at first base. 1 down in the inning. So Auckland now have an opportunity to do something with that runner with only 1 out. They're at the top of their order. Nathan Ruhi, who's been pretty solid leadoff hitter for them in the tournament so far. There's an arm from catcher. Just goes to the roll. There we go. I think it looked like he was safe at one stage, but I've got a feeling he might have lifted his hand off the base. Joe,
yeah,
is that how it looked?
It looked like that to me. It was a good slide, but he came across the base a little bit, lifted his hand, and Jill was right on the play.
Yeah. And the fielder keeping the glove laid on the tag. showed a bit of maturity there as well.
No doubt. I mean, you got to keep the glove on there until the out is made or
Yeah.
the call is made.
No, this guy here, he should be a car salesman.
Good to see the rapport between catcher and blue is coming along nicely.
Yeah, I think he's taken a little bit of stick from the Auckland bench, and there's zero tolerance there. So
Yeah, he did mention that as when one of the Auckland boys was a little bit unhappy with his strikeout. Just had a quick wander over and said, we'll have enough of that. There'll be zero tolerance for it. And fair enough too. Our officials out there do the best job they can,
Three balls.
which in New Zealand's case is an excellent job.
yeah, in my day of coaching, they needed to have a little bit of a thicker skin.
Yeah. Joe, you were pretty quiet, weren't you?
Yeah, pretty quiet guy.
That one a little bit too far off the plate this time, and
Time's up,
Auckland.
Yeah. So the outside pitch is too far.
Auckland now have another runner on deck after having the steal called out. So Nathan Ruhi picks the walk. That'll bring to bat number 12, Joey Hill. It just prompted the Franklin infield to come and have a quick chat.
Two down, yeah. Play ball here. Foul ball.
Yeah, he's there very much zoned into the inside half of that plate, just keeping the Auckland hands quiet. Very hard to hit a ball that's right back in there on your hands.
Yeah, they'll be making little adjustments to if that continued, I believe.
This time it just gets bobbled straight back to the pitcher, who makes no mistake as he fires Joey Hill out at the first base for the third out. Here in the innings, we have 2.5 innings complete. There's no score in the ball game between Auckland and Franklin. It's getting pretty tense out there as we get to the middle stanzas of the ball game. We'll be back in just a minute with more action. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Sorensen Field here in Fraser Ballpark. We're just getting a little bit more overcast and a little bit cooler, but that's not affecting the ball game out there, which is heating up as we speak. We're in the bottom of the third innings where there's no score. It's very much a pitcher-dominated affair at this stage, pitcher catch-up. We're waiting for something to break loose, and I think you'll find as we get into the later innings, which we're starting to, and batters get second looks at these pitches, that something might just happen in very shortly.
Yeah, that normally happens after the first time around the lineup. Adjustments are being made.
Franklin's still yet to go through their order, so you've got Carlos McCabe-Davis out there at the moment, number 12. He is the bottom of the Franklin order. So that will take them back to the top of their shop. We see a little bit of a bobble out there, but it's recovered at second base by Joey Hill to take the out. So we are seeing a little bit more bat on ball in the last 10 minutes. Back to the top of the order, Richard Terude for Franklin up to bat.
Hey.
Struck out in his first at bat. Definitely has good control of the rotation on his pitches.
Good height.
Good drop, good rise, and a decent curveball as well. There's that curveball. That moved a good foot.
Yeah, that was a beautiful pitch.
Yeah.
He mixes that up with a little bit of a change and then a rise ball and makes him pretty difficult to hit.
Yeah, I mean, most pitchers tend to have three decent pitches. We're looking at Cyril Wilson, who actually seems to have good command of four of them. So,
1 ball, 2.
and usually they'll have a pitch that's a work on for them. Often it's the change-up. Especially with the younger pitchers.
Yeah. Yeah, that rise ball has some good rotation on it. And you're right, Gary, the changeup is one that takes a longer time to perfect.
Well, probably one of the reasons, Joe, is through the younger age grades, these better pitchers tend to dominate with their speed. And there's a strikeout as Richard Terude heads back to the dugout as the second out here in the bottom of the third innings. He'll bring to bat number 56, Jamie Joseph. I don't know if his first name is a coincidence or he's named after a rather famous rugby player and now coach.
Play.
But there we go, Jamie Joseph it is.
No, that's too low. Yeah, done.
Haven't seen Cyril Wilson a lot for Auckland. We haven't seen a lot of their other pitching staff. So I'm assuming that Auckland will have him. Of course, they'll have at least two. But certainly a lot of the work on Diamond 1 has been shouldered by Cyril Wilson. Finds the zone with that one. Get himself back in the competition. Another feature, Joe, with the pitching out there at this tournament has been the ability of the pitchers to work from it being ahead in the count. A lot of 2 strikes, no ball calls. Especially we saw that with the North Harbour pitcher last night.
Yeah, these guys are working most of the time ahead, which gives them a little bit of an advantage. Then makes that rise ball just that little bit tougher. You have to be careful and have a good discipline.
No.
A little bit too far inside this time.
Inside the line there. Inside the line there, yeah.
Not a lot for both infields to do at the moment as we've been dominated by the pitching. 0-0 the score is. We're in the bottom of the third innings. Going along quite quickly, the ball game. It needs to. We're a little bit behind the schedule. This one was scheduled to start at 11 o'clock as we see a nice pitch by Wilson to take yet another strikeout. Number 7, or 7 by my reckoning, for the third out here in the bottom of 3 innings. That is 3 complete. No score in the ball game. We'll be back in just a minute.
Your ideas, your plans, your vision for your dream home. At Golden Homes, we work with you to create a home you'll love living in. With total design flexibility, our exclusive gold standard building system and Zog steel framing proven to withstand magnitude 9 earthquake activity, your new Golden Home will have all the strength, comfort and sophistication you've been dreaming of.
It's a better home you'll own. Golden Homes.
Golden Homes. Call 0800 22 22 36.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. There's a beautiful shot of the hills surrounding the Hutt Valley there. On to those Pahutakawas, and there's our scoreboard. And back into Sorensen Field. There you go, a lovely panoramic view of the beautiful setting we enjoy. Sitting here commentating on this very tight ball game between Auckland and Franklin. Auckland have Kyle Roberts up to bat number 1. And now we're well and truly into these guys' second turns at bat, Joe. We do expect something to happen when that does happen, so we'll have to stay tuned. But if it continues to be this tight, we could be in for a very low-scoring affair indeed.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments these batters make after seeing the pitcher now for the second time.
Yeah, we haven't seen any movement on either dugout as far as warming up other pitchers yet. I assume they have been out there and warming up, but nothing at the moment.
1, 2.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Kyle Roberts.
Yep.
We've seen what's emerged to me in the last couple of days of doing this tournament, that the base of teams that could go on and win this tournament is very wide. I mean, it could be any one, even now, of five, maybe 6 teams.
No doubt about it, yeah. From what I've watched, there are at least, I'd say, 5 or 6 teams. You're right. Anyone on a day makes for a great tournament.
Yep.
Swing!
This time, that's probably as close to a wiggle as you'll get. Still no call from umpire Farquhar out on third base this time. There we go. Kyle Roberts picks a walk. He's off to first base. He'll be replaced by number 20, Max Russell. Max Russell right in the middle of the power hitting for Auckland. So Auckland now with an opportunity, and he just underlines that by launching one over the fence out at left field. I didn't get too excited, ladies and gentlemen, because it was foul ball territory in left field, but it did comfortably clear the fence.
It's where the adjustments are made. You see he came back inside where he's been living the last couple of innings.
Yep.
But Max Russell's made an adjustment there and really got around on that ball.
Yeah, so these are the sort of to and fro tactics that pitcher batters will do. So now it's up to the pitcher to maybe adjust a little bit. As he fires one through the middle, Max Russell helps himself as they go for the double. It's a little bit slow on that second throw, but Roberts is out at first at second, and Russell is safe at first. Nice play by the Franklin infield. The double was there at their mercy. I think Kyle Roberts, who is a big guy, managed to make his body as wide as possible on that throw there. Joe?
Yeah, I think you see that shortstop see him bearing down on him and just slowed it up a wee bit to get out of the way.
Yep. Cyril Wilson, who pop-flied on his last at-bat, has launched one out to right field, and this is exactly what we were talking about. Russell heads around to third base, and that's a nice job by Cyril Wilson, and now Auckland are well and truly underway in this competition with the bats.
Yeah, it's what we were predicting, Gary. I mean, once you get around the lineup, the teams are starting to make adjustments. Those were 3 hard-hit balls in a row.
Yep.
And
so Casey Hutchinson will come up to bat to continue this run for Auckland, now with a prime opportunity to impact the scoreboard here.
Auckland's got something cooking here. I can see
Play
that.
here, play here.
Again, we see the inside pitch, and again, we see a quick turn on the bat. And again, it is batted down the foul baseline. Third baseline for a foul. So spot on analysis there, Joe. The Auckland batting has made the adjustment, and it's bearing fruit for them straight away.
Yeah, I think the coach at the moment is just talking to the batter, and although he pulled that ball down the third base line, to get that runner over, maybe going to the right side would be a better option. Trying to get the ball to that right side.
Yep.
Play. No.
There we see Wilson makes his way over to second base on a rising pitch that continues to find the inside line. There we go. Things just turned to stone a little bit out there for a few seconds. There's a nice pitch on the outside of the plate. Umpire Rupe leaves everybody in no doubt that that was indeed a strike.
1 ball, 2.
That was interesting because that's probably the first time I've seen one barrel right through the middle of the zone. Hutchison might be a little bit tough on himself there for missing out there, Joe.
Yeah, that came right down the middle, and he just missed it.
But we're already seeing in the last few pitches the catcher for Franklin setting up on the outside of the plate now. This time he goes back inside.
Yeah, a little bit of cat and mouse going now. The batters that have seen that inside pitch have turned around on it. So good tactics by the catcher to move it a little bit inside and out.
So Auckland with runners at 2 and 3, and let's not forget, there's only one down in this innings, so this is the first real opportunity from either side to score runs. And there's a great battle going on here right now between pitcher and batter. We've seen Casey Hutchinson now. He's taken Te Whiora deep into account and has pitched probably maybe 6 or 7 pitches so far just in this contest alone.
Also be interesting to see if the Franklin coach has anybody in the warming up over there.
And again, another example of the batters seeing that inside line now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They're seeing that pitch pretty well now. It just seems to be the pace is just a little bit off. A couple of Ks down from where it was in the first couple innings.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're really going at it now. We're up to about 8 or 9 pitches in the pitch count, and these two boys are locked in a battle. It's the sort of battle that as a softball purist you love to see.
Yeah, no, this is a real battle here.
1 ball, 2.
Big part of the ball game.
You see the sun come back out here at Fraser Park. Ready to go again. Rears back, throws in a change-up. Great time for it, but unfortunately it was off the plate. Great time for a change-up there.
Yeah, he had him fooled, but just a little bit inside.
Yeah, you saw the eyes get big on that one. Whilst we haven't yet got the spectators around the edge of the ground out there on the fence, the seats here at Fraser Park are pretty well attended with with spectators. I think you'll find when you get Wellington and then Hutt Valley on Diamond 1 that a few more seats will fill up. Goes to it again, and that's what we talked about with young pitchers. The work on pitch for them is usually that change-up, Joe.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's just missing the strike zone with it, keeping it a little up, and he's just finding on that change-up you want to have it down.
Yeah, certainly don't want to give it an opportunity to be leaned on. Oh, there we go. This one's right out of the middle of the thing, and they are not even running for it as there's one bounce into the back fence. And we did talk about it, but there's an automatic home run to Casey Hutchinson, who wins the battle on this occasion. And Auckland leap out to a 3-0 lead as we see the celebrations going on there to Auckland. And Auckland just really did make that battle pay, didn't they?
Oh, Casey got around on that. You could see the battle, and he just was starting to read the pitches. And eventually the pitcher made a mistake.
This time it was, in fact, that inside half of the plate again, but this time Hutchinson made no mistake as he turned on it right into the meat of the bat and launched it not only over the outfield fence, but that went one bounce into the perimeter fence here at the ground, which is a long way back as how deep that hit was. Of course, it's in approximately the spot where we saw the legendary Donny Hale clear the top of the trees. So you're going to have to grow up a bit too.
Yeah, well,
that wonderful picture that's all around the internet of Donny Hale launching into that one.
Yeah, that was well hit, that ball. It'll be interesting how Rakaya adjusts now. They're still in a ball game. It's only 3 runs.
Yeah, I mean, at this level and against two well-performed teams in the tournament, 3 runs is really nothing. We saw Auckland peg back a 4-0 deficit yesterday against North Harbour. Well, I'm pretty sure Franklin are fully capable of pegging back this deficit against Auckland. Yeah, he's just not quite finding those spots that he was before, Joe.
Yeah.
You're right, maybe a little bit of tiredness beginning to creep in. Just looking for a sign that there might be somebody warming up on the Franklin dugout, but not yet. They've got full faith in young Rakaya to keep going out there, obviously. So we see a nice pitch this time on the outside of the plate, rising to strike out Sendon. And that's a good comeback from young Te Whioro.
Oh, it was a great battle that Casey Hutchinson won in the end.
Yeah.
Missing on that changeup that made it 3-2, and then he had to come in or he's going to load the bases. And so Casey sat on it and made the most of it.
Yeah, that was a often you see that's the pitcher that wins them because eventually they just miss time one or it goes straight to a fielder, but no, Hutchinson, you could see, meant business all the way through that battle.
And I think what you said, Gary, previously was that he was coming straight through the zone and he threw that one pitch that was fouled back. Casey just missed it. Well, that one he didn't miss.
No, got all of it. It was a great one to see.
Swing!
This one high in the zone, and young Rakaya Te Whioro. The first time we've seen a few chinks in him. We're in the 4th innings of work for him, and he's finding it hard to find those corners and edges that he was hitting with regularity in the first 3 innings. You do feel for a pitcher when they go through those sorts of battles, probably as much with their bodies as much as their own minds, and just trying to sort it out.
Yeah, he just feels like he can't get too much of the plate.
This is one of the loneliest positions in the sport, of course. You're the man out there trying to keep the defense ticking over for your team. Another batter who's looking to turn on that inside pitch.
Fraser.
You see in general there, where they're standing in the box there, Joe, as well, that front foot right out on the line now. They have moved and adjusted to where they're standing. Nice job this time, and that's a great comeback from Rikai Tefiora. He strikes out Buchan for the third out in the innings, but not before Auckland helped themselves to 3 runs, courtesy of that home run shot from Casey Hutchinson. 3-0 they lead over Franklin. We'll be back in just a minute to see what's next in this ball game. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're just about to make a start to the bottom of the 4th innings here between Franklin and Auckland. Auckland and Franklin were neck and neck at 0-0 until we saw Auckland with some fine batting in that previous innings get runners on 2 and 3 before Casey Hutchinson came up and launched one over the outfield fence for a home run triple. Auckland ahead by 3 runs to 0 over Franklin. You put your coach's hat on, Joe, if you're the Franklin coach. How do your tactics change now?
Well, I just think that they need to just stay a little disciplined. They've scored a lot of runs in this tournament. They've got some good hitters. And just stay patient and believe that they can score some runs.
Yeah, a bit of self-belief goes a long way. We know they've got the tools to do it. As we see a nice pitch on the inside of the plate. This time not a strike from Wilson. But we saw with that shot from Hutchinson just how deep that the Auckland batting goes. They've got guys from 1 to 9 fully capable of getting them going. And of course finishing the job, as we did see with that home run from Hutchinson.
Grab that bat, please? Thank you. 2-2.
All it takes is a couple of hits, and you got to just stay positive.
Yeah, stay positive. But, like you say, if they get a couple of hits, the tails go up pretty quickly, and it's hard to defend. And we have seen these teams, or I've seen these teams throughout this tournament, they do bat in blocks. So if one goes, normally 2, 3, or even 4 will go. And one of the games yesterday, Hutt Valley, came up and hit to the tune of 3 triples in a row. So it was some impressive batting.
You can't score 3 runs in 1 at bat, so you got to chip away.
Yeah, and there's still plenty of time in this ball game to do it. It's not like it's desperation time for Franklin by any means. You're in the bottom of the 4th innings. You're only halfway through the ball game. Kātini Huriwai it is, batting for Franklin. He's the Franklin catcher. Very well performed catcher he is too.
As we saw with the Auckland batters, it appears that the Franklin batters also are starting to hit the ball just that little bit more.
Yeah, starting to find it. There we see, there's a result of the bat meeting the ball a little bit. Even if it is a foul ball, it's the pitcher that notices first. And Huriwai picks a walk. And with none out, it is now Franklin's turn to answer with a little bit of offense of their own to what went on in the previous half of the innings. Tipene Kennedy up to bat, number 75. And if anyone can match Kyle Roberts for sheer size in this ball game, it's Kennedy. Another big unit.
And he also turned on that inside pitch. So if they make a mistake and they get a little bit inside or a little bit more of the plate, we could see another one over the fence.
We have seen Wilson have to respond to pressure in this tournament. There we see a hit out to shortstop. It's taken comfortably out there, but he miscued the first throw initially, didn't get it away. And this time it's gone astray at first base. And we see Huriwai come in to score for Franklin. And Franklin now answering Auckland with a run of their own. They've closed the gap. It's 3-1 in this ball game, and it is getting exciting.
Yeah, just took that base on balls, and then a ground ball.
And then an error.
And then an error.
Hats off to Kennedy. He's a big unit, but he got down that first base line with some speed as well.
Absolutely. Put a little pressure on a shortstop.
Yep. I think the shortstop looked for the double play initially, and that's what cost him the base in the end, because Kennedy got down there fast. And that's prompted a conference from the Auckland coach, and rightly so too, because they've put a lot of pressure on Franklin in the previous half of the innings, and they don't want to see that go to waste.
Thank you. That's one. Thank you. All right, who's out, please, sir? Out is,
Just a little bit of a change being made here by the Franklin coach.
Yep. And who's coming in? 63.
So we're going to see 63, Elias James Chase, come in to pinch hit for
Franklin.
For number 67, Noah Lau Pepitelli.
75 is coming out. And off the bench is number shirt 63. Thank you. All right, let's get this ball game on the road, eh?
It's amazing how quickly the complexion of a game can change. We've gone from a defensively oriented game for 3 innings, Joe. It's now full on attack from both teams.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Franklin now have put in a pinch runner for Tiffany Kennedy, and wouldn't be surprised if they have him in motion. But the pressure is now starting to be mounting on Auckland.
Foul ball.
And there we go. There's the first look at a short game being pulled out by Franklin this time as the new batter, Elias James Chase, turns to bunt.
Yeah, the Auckland coach went out there just to settle his troops down, and the Franklin coach now is trying to rev his team up.
No, that's done.
Well, there we go. We're now seeing how we've seen how Rakaya Tefiora responded to the pressure exerted by Auckland in previous innings. He took it on the chin and then responded with 2 strikeouts. It'll be interesting to see how Cyril Wilson responds in kind. I'm sure he can do it because I have seen him do it in previous to this today in this tournament. So you see a nice pitch gone out hard by James Chase to be struck out as the first out here in the bottom of the 4th innings. Number 55, Xavier Haddon, comes into bat for Franklin. This time he's dropped the bunt down the third base line, and he's beaten out the throw this time as well, even though the field was actually pretty smart. So I guess we're just looking at a case there of good softball all around.
Oh, it was a beautiful bunt down the third base line, and Xavier Haddon, boy, his wheels down the first base line were unbelievably quick.
Yeah, there's some brilliant athletes in this tournament. We're seeing speed aplenty from most of the teams out there.
It was a nice play by the second base to keep the runner on second base and not going to third.
Yeah, but it is Franklin again now who continue to put Auckland under pressure with runners at 1 and 2.
swing that in the ball, you'll get that.
And it is the pitcher, number 65, Rikaya Tefiora, who tries to turn on an inside pitch. Gets a little bit of bat on it. A foul tip.
1-1. No, that's up. That's up.
The other thing is, Joe, the discipline on that rise ball now is coming out. They're laying off it. First couple of the innings, they didn't necessarily do that.
Yeah, they're definitely seeing a little bit more of the rotation, which is putting them in good spots. Well, we got a real good cat and mouse game going here.
Definitely. And there we go. This time it's Auckland who are giving in to the pressure. They've loaded the bags. And the Franklin dugout and the Franklin team are definitely getting very animated on this one.
Yeah. If I tell you half a ball, but it's clipping.
Brooklyn Mariu Apiata, he is listed as the DP, so he's only in the lineup to do one job, Joe.
And he's another big unit.
He's hit one hard out to second base. He's taken the tag, and he's got the double. There's a nice response from the Auckland infield to take a double and defuse that very dangerous situation. It is Auckland who continue to lead this ball game now, and it's a lot tighter. Back to 3-1 over Franklin. We'll be back to see what happens in just a minute. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, where this game has just turned white hot. It's Auckland that lead Franklin by 3-1, and we're just waiting for things to get started here. But while we do, we'll have a quick look at Auckland and how they made their way through their pool. They played Hutt Valley, and they were actually mercied by Hutt Valley by 11 runs to one. They turned the tables on North Harbour, obviously, with that extra innings thriller, Battle of the Bridge, 12-6. Waikato, they made no race of that, and also Manawatu as well were quite easy ones. And they finished second in the pool with 15 points. We're about to make a start here on the top of the fifth innings. Carlos McCabe Davis, number 12, was due up in the order for Auckland. But we do have a hitter coming in for them. And it's Joey Hill. I do have my my paper in the wrong place. Joey Hill it is, left-hander, coming in for Auckland. Jaden Whittle. Sorry about that. Guys, I'll get me... can't read my own writing half the time here. And it is Jaden Whittle, who has a hard swing at a rising ball through the middle of the zone. 3-1, Joe, and the whole complexion of this game has changed in the bat of an eyelid.
Yeah, Franklin will be a little bit disappointed that they didn't score a couple more runs in that inning where they threatened, but it has tightened up.
Yeah, they were very good in their offense right up until that very last bat, and you mentioned it just as we went off camera there that possibly not the greatest idea to swing at that first pitch. Maybe should have been a little bit more patient. The batter, Mario Apiata, possibly something they will talk about and adjust. There we say, this time it's a drop, third strike. And Jaden Whittle was safe out there on first base. That'll bring to bat Nathan Ruhi. Puts the bat out there looking to bunt on a pitch on the outside that probably wasn't really there for it.
Yeah, being a little bit over-aggressive.
This time he drops it down in front. It goes down the first base line. And it is unable to be fielded by Franklin. And that's a fine piece of batting by Auckland. Good softball. We see Ruhi safe at first base, doing what a leadoff hitter needs to do, and that's get himself on bag.
Especially on this diamond, when you lay down the bunt and it just dies where it did.
Yeah.
With Ruhi's legs, you're never going to get him.
Joey Hill now up to bat. With Auckland now in position. None down, runners at 1 and 2. It's a prime attacking opportunity for them. We've just got a update from the other diamond, where Wellington are playing North Harbour in another one of the crossover games. Wellington qualifying second in their pool and North Harbour third. It is Wellington leading in that one at the top of the 7th innings. A handy lead indeed, 9-4 over North Harbour. There's a nice change up this time. It's not cool, but the steal is on. He slides into third base. And that all seemed to happen in slow motion out there, even though the runner was quickly down the line.
It was a change-up that just got the catcher a little hung up.
Yeah.
And by the time he got to the ball, runners were all safe.
That was a great time to call the steal by the Auckland coach. He probably didn't know the change-up was coming, but as it turned out, it was the right time to call it. This time over the top, straight back into the net. No chance of a run scoring.
Yeah, another big part of the ball game here. None down, 3-1 count.
Yeah. This is interesting pitch right here. Tifioro doesn't have too many options about where he needs to put this. He could give up the base, but there's none down. It's not really going to help him. This time he lines it into the middle. They do look for the out. It's not going to be in time, and the bases are now loaded. So Auckland applying some enormous pressure now on Franklin. Although Auckland are ahead, it's only by 2 runs. Franklin won't want to concede anything at this stage of the ball game as we get into the later innings. Unfortunately, the odds are against them at the moment.
Coming up to the meat of the lineup, you got Kyle Roberts, Max Russell, and Cyril Wilson, all 3 good hitters.
Roberts got himself on base in the previous innings where they scored the 3 runs. And of course Max Russell followed by Cyril Wilson and Casey Hutchinson all got out there. But it is a very dangerous time for Franklin right now, for sure. This time it's a moonshot right in the middle of the infield. I'm pretty sure that's going to be an infield fly. So the batter will be automatically out.
Yeah, Kyle would have wanted to do a little bit more with that pitch. But Rakaya, good pitch too, Kyle Roberts.
Yeah, it was a good one. And it is Max Russell who hit one hard in the previous innings to really help the Auckland cause along. This time it's Tefiora who's throwing quite a few more change-ups. He's yet to zone in with them. And he needs it closer to the zone without actually being in the zone. Too easy to pick if it's too far off. Well, they did what they had to do. They got an out with the previous batter. But he's getting behind on the count again here. High and inside. You can almost feel the tension mounting on the Franklin defense out there now. 3 balls, no strikes, loaded bases, and only 1 down. If you were a betting man, you would be betting on a run scoring round about now. I'm sorry, Franklin, but
yeah, needs to find a strike zone. Keep the ball down.
And there we go. This time it's courtesy of a walk, but another run has scored. We've got that 3-run deficit out there again. This time it's the coach who's approaching the mound to have a talk. I don't know if it's to change the pitcher, unless it's somebody already out on the diamond. Oh, there we go. There's somebody approaching it. No. Well, yeah, Tefiora is going to be continuing to work hard out there. He is finding it tough to find the zone now. Perhaps a bit of tiredness, but he really did have it on a string for 3 innings and kept the Auckland batting lineup quiet. Unfortunately, like a lot of the teams in this competition, you don't keep them quiet forever.
It's good to see the pitcher still has a smile on his face. It's not the end of the world. Still a lot of ball game.
Oh, that's always going to be a good thing to assist a pitcher. The ability to just shake it off and get back into business. Go back to work.
And starts off with a good pitch.
This time low in the zone. A low lifter. The Auckland coach with only 1 out, of course, options are plenty right now, hasn't he? And that's going to help as well. This one's going to be caught, but right out at deep in centre field. So that's going to cost Franklin another run, and that's just a smart bit of softball by Auckland for a fly ball.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting by Cyril. Lifted the ball into centre field. Got good speed on third base. Was always going to score and tag up.
And that's just ticking the scoreboard over, isn't it? I mean, that's not doing anything flashy. That is just ticking the scoreboard over. Fly ball into centre field was always going to do the job.
Yeah, that gives you a 4-run cushion now.
Home runner, Casey Hutchinson up to bat now for Auckland. Here's a good look at that first pitch from Tefiora. Doesn't hit it. Hard swung strike. This time it's hit back through the pitcher. He defends it off and he manages to sneak past the shortstop and the second base. So Auckland, once again, it's good batting, and it just ticks the scoreboard over for another run. And Auckland are beginning to gap Franklin now. Hutchison helps himself to another RBI. There we go. We are going to see a pinch hitter come in for Auckland. It looks like Hikanui Tangaroa is going to be coming in to have a swing of the bat. Auckland looking to make the hurt just a little bit more painful for Franklin. They have runners on the corners. Just smart softball by the Aucklanders, Joe.
Oh, yeah, it's just fundamentals. Being a little bit of discipline. And you can see how they were just starting to mount that attack. And now they've seen the pitcher for a third time and starting to see the ball a lot better.
Yep, Franklin certainly having their fortitude tested now. To the tune of 6 runs. Auckland have scored 6. They've scored 1.
Now, this is a crossover game. Still a lot of tournament left.
Yeah.
And Franklin will have to regroup and come back a little later today, I would imagine.
Here we see, this time, and Franklin have just done it to themselves this time by throwing the ball into centre field, attempting the tag. It's cost them another run. And this time, it is here in the top of the 5th innings. It is now 7 runs to 1. And if Franklin are not careful, they're going to put themselves into a run ahead situation, where Auckland may only need, with another run coming in, 3 outs for the ball game.
Yeah, no doubt. Do we have any outs in this inning?
2 outs.
2 outs, yeah.
Yeah. So Hikanui Tangaroa has been brought in to do that job. He's pinch hitting for Auckland, number 5. And both teams together would be able to produce a decent forward pack. As Hikanui Tangaroa is another lad of some size. There's a nice pitch back on that spot that Tefiora made his own for the first 3 innings.
He was living there. He was living there in the first 3 innings.
Auckland made the adjustment, but there we go. He's managed to zone back in with that one pitch. This time through the middle, and it's Tangaroa who goes hard at it. He'll kick himself for missing that one. Yeah, and there's a good comeback once again, this time by Rikaya Tefiora. He's going to save himself from that run-ahead rule. 7 runs to 1 it is, and it's Auckland who have, in the last 2 innings, piled on all the hurt on Franklin and lead with a healthy lead in this ball game. We'll be back in just a minute to see what happens in the bottom of the 5th innings.
Three.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at Sorensen Field in Fraser Park. It's the 2024 Under-19 National Softball Championship. Auckland taking on Franklin in Diamond 1 action. And what a game it had been. Neck and neck all the way up to the third innings. And then Auckland made some adjustments with the bat, and boom! In the last 2 innings, they've scored 7 runs. Franklin have managed one of their own, but they're staring up the hill of a rather large blue mountain at the moment. 7 runs to 1 down. Number 12, Carlos McCabe Davis, is in the batter's box for Franklin right now.
Double.
And it's Franklin who are going to have to do something special right now to keep themselves in contention in this ball game.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit late in the game. They're going to have to get some base runners on. Cyril has still got a bit of pace and a bit of movement, so it is going to be an uphill battle.
Well, I've seen his ability to pitch full game. And there's a beautiful curved ball that just cut the front corner of the plate. Not much McCabe Davis could have done about that pitch. He didn't agree with the umpire, but I can tell you that ball curved about a foot.
No doubt about it. It was a strike and a well-called pitch by the catcher.
Richard Terude up next, top of the order for Franklin. As we see the strikeout. Was an absolute beauty by Wilson. I was just talking about it. He is a bit of a horse out there. He does like the work. 8 innings of work yesterday in that North Harbour game showed that.
And I guess with Cyril, he knows he's got that 6-run buffer. You want to pound the strike zone, let your defense play a little ball.
Yeah, you can cut your work down by a lot by just bringing it into the zone. Let your defense help you out and throw as few pitches as possible. You know, in the second and third innings when they were really going at each other and being asked to go deep in counts, that's a little bit of a different story. But now he's got that buffer, like you say.
3 balls, 1.
And let's give a tip of the cap to the Auckland catcher as well. Casey Hutchinson has called a beauty out there today. He seems to have had all the answers to the Franklin batting.
Now he's having a pearler, calling a great game.
And there's a nice piece put on this time. Oh, it's gone under the glove. That's going to go all the way out to the right field fence. And if this guy's got some wheels, it's going to be close. He's coming around his turn. He's coming home. The throw's in. And he's out right on home plate. Well, and that is a fine piece of defense in the end after the error by Auckland. Got to feel sorry for Richard Terude on that case.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Everything. And in the context of that game, he needed to score. So
no doubt.
He had to go.
He had to go. Catcher made a beautiful, it was a great relay. And the catcher made a nice play, just blocking the ball slightly, so he had to go around.
Yeah, he had to go around. Yeah, and he tried to go into him. And maybe that's where he's lost it. But the throw had to be made. It was right on the button. And Auckland made the out.
Good work, Kev. Good work.
It's the sort of one where Wade Sendon out there at right field initially would have had absolute nightmares of watching that go into his glove.
No doubt.
But then he will be celebrating once he had that out made at home plate. Certainly glosses over the fact that he made a howler out there.
Time.
Well, it was also a very good play by the blue. Pat Sheehy came down the line from first to make the call at home plate. So really good umpiring.
Yeah, they switched and made their positions where they needed to be.
No.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are beginning to see a few people gathering around the boundaries out there as the crowd begins to build. Get on down here because we're seeing some wonderful sport Happy to be brought to you with Ballpark Broadcasting and Atiawa Toa FM. Some exciting plays being made out there, some great batting. We were just talking about Casey Hutchinson doing a great job behind the dish. Well, it was only a couple of innings ago where he absolutely launched one over the fence.
Donny Hale special.
Donny Hale special. Yep, except his was about 50 feet higher when it when Casey Hutchinson's landed.
No.
But you're right in that same sort of line. Disappeared into those same Pahutakawas and kept going.
Yeah, ballpark's looking good. Just need a little bit more sunshine, and we're starting to see some blue skies.
Yep, it's coming back. Yeah, nice job. This Cyril Wilson just keeps pounding that zone now, just like you mentioned, Jay.
Yeah, no reason to give up any base on balls.
No.
Here he goes. This time he has exactly what he's done.
It's a bit too far inside. Yeah.
Franklin need a swing
Well,
from
time out here,
one of the
thank you.
big boys out there.
Yep.
It's number 75, Tiffany Kennedy. Hootie Y makes way for the runner.
You know, all of a sudden, if Tarure scores on that hit, you got it then 7-2. You got 2 runners on, 7-4, and all of a sudden the squeeze is back on.
Yep.
So that's one of the reasons why the Auckland coaches come out and just settle the team down. Let's get some outs. Well coached.
Yeah, perfect time to come out and make that point. And number 75, Tiffany Kennedy, who scorched down the first base line in his previous at-bat after he dropped one short to the Cyril Wilson at pitcher.
No, too low.
There's a nice spot this time by Wilson.
So you keep it there, I'll give it to you.
And he's always one for good communication, umpire Orupe.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm impressed.
This time we see one come out of the screws. It's gone all the way to the fence. It's going to score 1. It's going to score 2. And there we go. Tiffany Kennedy getting the job done. For Franklin this time, that launch into it. Kennedy safe at 2. 2-run score. The gap is closed. To and fro. They're going to lead a lot more because they're still 4 runs down. But the score at the moment here in the bottom of the 5th innings.
Let's go, boys.
Auckland 7, Franklin 3. Great piece of hitting. He caught that one very high.
Oh, no doubt about it. It was a beautiful piece of hitting, but it just shows you that Franklin is still in this ball game. They've still got a lot of ball game left.
It's amazing how quickly leads can disappear in this game. Another shot right here, and all of a sudden another one scores.
No.
Here we go, another quick update from one of the outside diamonds. Top of 7th innings sees Hutt Valley and Canterbury all locked up at 5 apiece. Nice.
No.
Another game threatening to go into overtime. And dare we say that here as things beginning to loosen up. And number 67, Noah Laupepetali, comes back into the ball game after being DP'd in his last at-bat.
2, 1.
A little bit too far inside this time. Well, the excitement is building again. Could have been forgiven for thinking Auckland were going to march to the 7th innings, but Franklin, they've got other plans. There we go, and it's Wilson who's feeling the heat now. It's his second walk in this innings. And it's Lau Pepitelli that's safe at first base this time. Making way for number 55, Xavier Haddon.
You guys are... So let me just grab my green pen.
Auckland that's making a change, and this time it is Wilson who makes way for the new pitcher. It's number 24. Gabe Tahi.
Auckland batting in the 5th spot. Shirt number 10 is coming out. And 24 will enter the game. Straight swap, thank you.
This pitching change, we'll take a break, and the pitching change, while we do the pitching change, is brought to you by Ballpark Broadcasting. We'll be back in just a minute. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Whilst Auckland have made the change on the hill, Gabe Tahi making way for the well-performed Cyril Wilson. Did a great job, but Franklin were just starting to find the middle of the bat. So the Auckland coach, as they're wanting to do, they have made the change.
I think it's a good time to make that change, show them a little bit of something else. They still got a lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's an adjustment that will now need to be made. You've got another pitcher's come in. He'll pitch a different line. You know, he'll have different movement on his pitches, and that just all of that just takes a little bit of time for batting teams, can throw them off their rhythm. And they were beginning to establish a rhythm over Wilson.
Absolutely.
Franklin definitely not capitulating in this ball game. They're only one swing away from it being a one-run ball game, and certainly still being 4 down. And really, at this level, is nothing when teams start getting their tails up. A little bit of action out there between the runners in the infield. The runners actually look like they might have backed up a little bit too far there, especially the runner at one. Interesting. Auckland will take note of that.
Yeah.
There's a hard hit ball out to centre field. It finds the grass. It hasn't been cleanly fielded. We're going to see two runners come in. We're going to see the batter all the way around to 3. And safe. Lovely throw back into 3, just not quite in time. And once again, we see why Franklin qualified for first place, because they will not go away in this ball game.
And as you said, one swing at a bat, we almost got a one-run ball game.
Yeah.
Well, with 2 outs, we got a 2-run ball game, but a lot still to happen.
No.
Here we go. It's pitcher number 65, Rikaya Tefioro, who has had a hard time out there on the mound. here's his opportunity to get some back on the Auckland team, as he's got a tying run himself. So what a game we've got. Auckland 7-5 over Franklin. Once we hit that fourth innings, the whole complexion of the game just changed, and it has now gone from being dominated by the pitching to being dominated by the bat.
And what the outfielders need to also understand is that it's still a little slippery out there. So on line drives, they got to make sure they get in front of the ball.
Yeah, the centre fielder out there probably made that mistake.
No.
Didn't get around in front. We've seen Tahi come in. He's given up a hit already. Now he's given up a walk. It's a hard situation for a pitcher to come in those circumstances. Doesn't matter who you are.
Is that pitcher? Please. Yo, catcher, where you going? Come back. Catcher. Catcher, let's go. Let's go, boys. Boys, if you don't move, I'll put a ball on the batter. Let's go.
Yeah, probably Auckland helping themselves to a conference that they didn't really need there at that stage, or rather the umpire felt they didn't really need. Now, Brooklyn Mariuapiata is the DP in the lineup, so he's out there to do one job, and that's swing the bat. And Auckland have put him on. That's a double thing for them. It gets his bat dangerously away from the box, but also loads the bases.
No doubt about it. It puts a little pressure on the pitcher to make sure he's throwing strikes, and the batter now just has to be disciplined to know he's going to be getting something in the zone.
Yeah, and the defensive side of that, Joe, is any bases and out now in terms of fourth play.
True.
Nice start by Tahi there as he throws a good strike.
Boy, the feel of this game has changed, hasn't it?
The whole complexion's changed again. At one stage, you felt that Auckland might coast to the seventh inning and win it, but now nothing's guaranteed.
That's too far.
A swing of the bat now, and it's Auckland who'll be looking at a deficit.
Bring that on the ball, I'll give it to you, okay? Keep it there.
You do feel for a pitcher that has to come in this situation. It's a white-hot atmosphere out there right now. And Franklin really are heaping the pressure on Auckland.
Okay. Yep. Time's up.
Just a question being asked there by the Auckland coach.
I check with the runner, the correct runners on 2. So I just go to the scorer.
As a temporary runner?
Yeah,
Sorry? Is he honest?
Yes.
Yeah, there's 2 down for the pitcher, the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, have you got your lineup card here?
Yep.
So what I did yesterday was I just looked at mine and says, to the scorer, can you confirm? So who was replaced?
The pitcher.
Got 55 on. Pitcher?
65 came off.
Okay, so it can't be 55 because he's on that base.
Yep.
Okay.
67.
Yes.
It is 67?
Yes.
Yep. So I would go to the scorer and say, look, can you confirm that the temporary runner is 67?
Yeah, thank you.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. So the umpires have been asked to clarify the status of the runner at 2.
According to our calculations, we got 67 on base 2. That's right. Can you just confirm, please? Yeah. As a temporary runner? Yes? We good? Okay, thank you very much.
There we go. The question was asked. Was the runner correct at 2?
We're good. Let's go, Booze. Let's go.
It was made. The change made for the pitcher. It was the pitcher rule, and they needed to put in the right correct runner, and that's exactly what Franklin have done. So we're all good to go. But hey, if you're the Auckland coach, you got to ask the question, don't you?
2 balls, 1.
I also think that he was doing that tactically just to slow things down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely right. This time it's Gabe Tahi. He's in the hot seat. Throws one high. The ball goes back. The runner's gone. He's given himself up a bit.
Yours.
And he's going to make it back.
Oh, boy.
Absolute comedy. He actually took time to stop and shake his head and think, oh, bugger, excuse me, I've messed that one up.
A bit of space if they do come. Otherwise, you could be interfering. Like, if he does come home, just give us a bit of room.
There we go. No damage for Franklin. He did. That was quite funny. 3 balls, 1 strike. Still the white-hot atmosphere continues for Auckland. This time, Tahi gets the ball across the plate.
Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 down.
Yes, it's just the situation that sitting in the middle of a seesaw, anything could happen. And what a job by Tahi, and isn't he happy with that? I think it was more of a big sigh of relief than anything else. But he strikes out the batter on this occasion for the 3rd out, but not before Franklin closed the gap again. This time it's Auckland still leading 7-5 as we head to the top of the 6th innings, where we'll be back to see what happens in just a moment.
Your ideas, your plans, your vision for your dream home. At Golden Homes, we work with you to create a home you'll love living in. With total design flexibility, our exclusive gold standard building system and Zog steel framing proven to withstand magnitude 9 earthquake activity, your new Golden Home will have all the strength, comfort and sophistication you've been dreaming of.
It's a better home, your own. Golden Homes.
Golden Homes. Call 0800 22 22 36.
Wow, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we've got a game that has been giving everything to all the spectators and fans out there. It has been a swaying seesaw affair where we've seen numerous advantages and disadvantages and cools and hits, and it's had a little bit of everything. The upshot of it is Franklin still trail Auckland by 7 runs to 5. We're now in the top of the 6th innings.
Well,
And
just to think, Gary, in the 5th inning, Auckland score 1 more run and the ball game is over.
It's
and now
amazing.
we're going to have a full game right here.
Yeah, we're a long way from that situation where Auckland had a healthy lead at 7 runs to 1. We mentioned that you could be forgiven for thinking that they were then going to coast because Franklin had other ideas as they launched an attack of their own.
And they didn't finish top of the pops for no reason.
That's right. They topped their pool, and we're beginning to see why. They're a team that show a bit of depth and a bit of character. We're just talking about off camera the work of Atiawa Toa out there, the pitcher for Franklin. I'm just beginning to admire his work a lot because he's had to weather the storm for Auckland. Franklin haven't made the change. He's still turning it over. This time it's hit to third base and the out is made. So it looks like he's going to be asked to go 7. And good on him if he does, because he is visibly tiring. Jaden Witter will come up to bat. Number 14 for Auckland. and Franklin have given them something to think about
No.
in the previous innings. That's a nice pitch.
Good to see Rakaya come back and still attack the strike zone.
He is. He's working it in there. Somebody's probably had a word to him as well, but, you know, you're not out there to do it all on your own. If you can get it in the zone, trust your infield to back you up as well. That's exactly what happened with that previous batter. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Whittle here. As I said before, we've got young Kyle Roberts leads the charge when it comes to the support in the dugout, and that's him making all the noise that you can hear. Good on him. The Auckland team got their tails up. They are ahead in this ball game. So we see another out made at first. This time, courtesy of a throw from the shortstop. Top of the order for Auckland is Nathan Ruhi, who watches the change-up go and cut the inside corner of that plate.
You keep working on that change-up, and that's the first one he threw for a good strike.
That was. It really did turn the bat of the stone on this occasion. And also underlined what a weapon the change-up is. Well, maybe a bit of second wind coming here for Ruhi, because he really is had been looking like he was tiring, but in this inning so far he's on the money.
One ball, 2.
And just to underline it, Ruhi returns to his strikeout taking ways. He has struck out Nathan Ruhi this time, and that is a more sedate 1, 2, 3 out for Franklin. There's no damage on the scoreboard this time.
Well,
we'll head to the bottom of the 6th, and we'll come back in a minute, Joe.
Yeah.
We'll head to the bottom of the 6th with no impact on the scoreboard. We'll find out what happens in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at Fraser Ballpark. Sorensen Field it is, where Franklin and Auckland really going at each other in this one. It's been a seesaw affair with Auckland, who are leading the ball game by 7 runs to 5 over Franklin. In the middle stages of the game, we saw all-out attack launched by both teams. But now as we're getting to the end of the ball game, it is Franklin who are going to have to break something loose, Joe.
Well, I just think having that inning go 1, 2, 3 for them and getting the bats back right up is the way to go.
Yeah.
Let's see what they can do this inning.
And they are at the top of their order. Richard Terude up to bat, number 15.
Yeah, Tahi's going to have to keep the ball in the strike zone. Let his defense play.
He breathed a huge sigh of relief when he struck out the last batter of the Franklin innings in the previous innings.
He did.
Three, 1.
3 balls, 1 strike it is. Tahi is a pitcher that's going to pitch around the zone. He's not going to overwhelm them with out and out speed. Now, there we go. He's walked Terude on to first base. Account open for Franklin. Jamie Joseph coming in. They're in the top and they're heading towards the meat of their order. It is now Auckland's turn to try and get some outs. That's not going to help as a wild pitch. Lets the batter take a second as a free base.
Yeah, the coaches for Auckland now have a lot of decisions to make. If they go back to Cyril Wilson.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. That's right. They might have to look at it. If they do make that decision, is it do they do it before a run was possibly scored, or do they wait until runs start pouring in?
I just think that they'll let this batter go and see what happens. If they can get an out, they'll stick with him. If they don't, I think they may have to make some decisions. This batter will probably be a good gauge for them.
Yeah, it's number 56, Jamie Joseph. He has struck out previously in the ball game, but from memory in the fifth innings, he hit the ball. This time he's hit one out through second base. It's unable to be fielded. It's going to score the runner too. It's going to be close. But the runner does score. And this is Franklin. It's now a one-run ball game. And we asked the question, are we heading towards a tiebreaker maybe again? Or are Franklin just going to go ahead? Well, here comes the Auckland coaches. It's Tahi that does head towards the dugout.
You are here, and we'll go with green this time. Okay. Out. Off.
Lying in wait for whomever comes out will be Kātini Huriwai. But we'll take a quick break while the new pitcher goes through his routine. This break brought to you by Ballpark Broadcasting.
Your ideas, your plans, your vision for your dream home. At Golden Homes, we work with you to create a home you'll love living in. With total design flexibility, our exclusive gold standard building system and Zog steel framing proven to withstand magnitude 9 earthquake activity, your new Golden Home will have all the strength, comfort and sophistication you've been dreaming of.
It's a better home, your own. Golden Homes.
Golden Homes. Call 0800 22 22 36.
Well, there you see it, ladies and gentlemen. The pitching change has been made by Auckland once again, and they've returned to the opening pitcher, Cyril Wilson, number 10. Gabe Tahi makes way for Cyril Wilson. We're about to get underway again. It is Franklin who have narrowed the score once again. And it's Auckland now clinging. I say literally clinging by the fingertips, Jay, to a one-run advantage over Franklin.
Yeah, Franklin with the tying run at first base. And they really got their tails up now.
No, that's too low.
Sometimes you see the true measure of a team by the way they respond in situations like that. 7 runs to 1 down. They might have been out of it, but obviously a bit of depth and fortitude in the Franklin team out there. Have dug their way back into this ball game well and truly.
That's gone.
That is high and handsome. It's gone back deep. It's landed over the fence. And Franklin, they level it up and then they go ahead. By 1 run over Auckland now, 8-7. And Hurdiwai helps himself to a moonshot over the left field fence. An automatic home run. Joe, I can tell you, they've gone 1 run ahead and there's still none out.
That was incredible, and it's an incredible comeback, going down 7-1 with 2 down and almost being mercied to come back and taking a lead.
Yeah, we talked about it in the 5th.
Great show.
1 more
of
run
resilience.
scores, and it was 3 for the ball game for Auckland.
Yeah. So, yeah, good show of resilience. And
number 75, Tiffany Kennedy, comes up. He has batted very well in his last 2 turns of bat. So Wilson has come in back into the ball game. And Auckland very much in patch mode as far as their defence goes. And just the result, it was a tiebreaker over on Diamond 2. It was Hutt Valley who wound out the winners over Canterbury, 8-5 in the tiebreaker. Hutt Valley continue their march. I must admit, Joe, your local boys are looking very good in this tournament.
yeah, they've had a couple of great tiebreaker wins. Played North Harbour yesterday and had a good win. And then beating Canterbury where they were down, I think, in the game and came back to tie at 5-5 and then winning the tiebreaker.
Yep, nice. Well, Hutt Valley certainly going to be one of the favoured ones to go deep into the towards the finals of this ball game. Maybe we are seeing one of the other teams sorting themselves out here. It's Franklin, who now enjoy the narrowest of margins over Auckland by 8 runs to 7. Cyril Wilson came back and helped himself to a strikeout. Tiffany Kennedy back in the dugout is actually the first out of the innings. Up at bat at the moment is number 67, Noah Laupepetele. Lines one down the first base foul territory. That will weave its way through a few spectators out there.
Quite a few twists and turns in this game, right, Gary?
It absolutely has. It's given us everything. I mean, you know, defensively it was 3 innings of 3 up and 3 down, pretty much. 4 and 5, it was all-out attack from both teams, and Auckland came out on top of that. Now the 6th inning, and the bottom of the 5th inning has been all Franklin. Everybody just making sure they're on the same page with the umpire in terms of the call. 3 balls, 1 strike it is. Here we go. Franklin just keep pushing Auckland to the limit. Pepitelli picking a walk. With Xavier heading up there and one only out, it's Auckland who have exhausted their options in terms of what they've got on the mound. It's going to have to be Wilson. Infield fly it will be. Catch is made, but the batter was already out.
Better nonchalant by the catcher.
Yeah. He possibly heard the call.
Well, no one in the infield moved. No one could see it. And the catcher threw his glove out and said, I'll take it.
Yep, he's probably going, well, why am I out here taking a catch? It should be the infield.
Yeah.
That is 2 down.
It's a big out there.
Yeah. Yes, it is. They needed it. Auckland needed it. If you had 2 runners on base right there, with Te Whiora on base in the box. And let's not forget you've got Brooklyn over Mario Apiata. He's in the on-deck circle. He's the batter that Auckland put on deck in the previous innings because they didn't want him to have a swing of the bat.
Yep.
So it is a dangerous time for Auckland right now still. Te Whiora got on base courtesy of a walk in his last at-bat. This time it's low, it's gone wild. Oh, and there we go. The runner's decided to go. And he slid through the base. Another case of the fielder laying the glove on the runner and the runner sliding through and his hand coming up off the bag.
Franklin playing aggressive.
That is extremely aggressive. He could have been quite happy to stay at 2, but
my bad. Still good. Reset.
that aggression is what's got him this far so far, Joe, but we'll find out what's going to happen as we head now into the 7th innings with the score now Franklin ahead by 8-7 over Auckland. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are at Fraser Ballpark, the white-hot atmosphere of Sorensen Field, where Franklin and Auckland are really going at each other. What a game we've had so far. We're in the top of the 7th innings. It's Franklin who lead the ball game by one narrow run over Auckland. And what a game it's given to us so far, Joe.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, Auckland taking the lead. Those 2 innings scoring a lot of runs, going up 7-1. But Franklin just not going away. And to take the lead 8-7 going into this last inning, pretty incredible comeback.
I tell you what that's helped and is what has given him the confidence back is how much better Rikaya Tefiora has gone in the last 10 minutes compared to the previous innings where he looked visibly tired.
Absolutely. He's come back and shut him down the last 2 innings.
Yeah, it's amazing. The change in that young man where it looked like he was down and out. All of a sudden, a little bit of confidence and tails up in the team. And he's back.
Yeah, he's found his arm again.
Yep. 1-2 it is on Joey Hill. Joey Hill, part of this well-performed top order for Auckland. And gosh, they are going to have to perform right now. It's Tefiora who's pounding it into the zone now. And back in his infield to do the job.
And so he should.
Mm.
You don't want to give any free passes now.
Well, the sun is streaming into Fraser Park now on this day. Third day of the tournament. Let's not forget there's still a finals day to go. And if this is any example of what finals softball is going to be like, then we're in for a treat. This time there's a pop fly. First base can't get underneath that one. Tipani Kennedy probably just suffered from somebody not telling him where the fence was there, because it looked like he was trying to put his hand out, see where it was.
A little bit.
Here we go. We've got another pitcher battle going on right here.
Have you got? Yeah. Three.
3 balls, 2. Will be what it is. There we go. One back to the fence, but I think the microphone can show you just how much interest and feeling there is going on out there, because that noise is getting very loud from that Auckland dugout.
Yeah, the sun also is playing a little havoc with some of these infielders. I see they're shielding their eyes on those pop-ups. So it's coming right from behind home plate.
Yeah, it's coming up 10 past 2. We see a nice pitch right on the top of the zone. And we see umpire Orupi copping a spray there from a couple of the Aucklanders. But hey, just goes to show where the feeling is at in this game right now, because it is that close.
Yeah, it was a close pitch. Could have went either way.
Yes, it could.
But it's already in the book.
Probably better if Joe Hill had tried to fend that off, but that's only hindsight.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's pretty close to take.
Yep.
And when you do that, you got to live with the call.
Live with it and move on. Yep, and Auckland are doing just that. To bat number 1, Kyle Roberts has a look at the first pitch go too low and outside. But there is a lot of emotion going on. There is a lot of emotion going on out there, and everyone gets caught up in it a little bit at times. To my mind, umpire Himi Orupe has called a brilliant game out there today.
Absolutely. He's been communicating with both catches.
Yep. Nobody gets 100% of the calls right, because nobody is perfect.
Yeah, out. Height's good. Happy with the height. Out. Yeah, happy with the height, but that was out. Yeah.
3 balls, no strikes. This time it's Kyle Roberts looking to get down to first base. And he will do that courtesy of a pitch that's too wide in the zone. It's Auckland who get themselves underway with only 1 out.
Time. Another pinch runner, is it? Gonna enter yourself, mate? Here you go, Auckland.
Auckland look like they're going to bring a runner in. I certainly don't think they'll be DPing Max Russell.
No. Yeah, Max showed that he could hit the ball over the fence on his first at bat, where he turned on an inside pitch and drove it down the left field line, just foul.
Yes, it comfortably cleared the fence. It was a very big foul. So indeed it is a runner that comes in to run for Kyle Roberts. It will be, or should have been, I thought, Joey Hill, but number 28 comes in. Rawiri Amai. Comes in for Kyle Roberts at first base. Max Russell into bat for Auckland, number 20. And this game, is it about to deliver another change, shall we say? Auckland only 1 down and a runner at 1. But runners on base showed an ability to convert them into runs on the scoreboard. Here we go. It's Max Russell who hits one out to second base. And at this time, the out at first is called for the double play. And it's Auckland who can't deliver on a run this time. And it's Auckland who go down in this ball game to Franklin by 8 runs to 7. And I actually did think that at one stage there the fielder had dragged his foot, Joe. But how did you see that game in the end?
Well, I mean, I think Franklin just showed a resilient side to them, being down 7-1 and coming back to win that game. A couple of close goals in the end of the game. I think, Auckland might complain a little bit, but at the end of the day, the umpires did a fantastic job umpiring that ball game. You don't give eight runs up, after having a 7-run lead, and it's nobody's fault, but that's the way the ball goes.
It is, that is, and what a ball game we had. Ladies and gentlemen, a seesawing affair between Franklin and Auckland gives us just a taste of what we'll be in for on Sorensen Field today when we start into the crossover plays. If this is going to be an example of finals softball, then bring it on, because that was absolutely fantastic. Both teams showing some excellent sportsmanship out there as they mill around and have a chat. Congratulations to Franklin. They move on, and Auckland will have to regroup because they are by no means out of it. We'll see what happens when we come back soon. Don't go anywhere, though, because the next game should be a goodie. Hawke's Bay taking on Waikato. But for now, Gary Rohihi, your play-by-play commentator, for Joe Friso, Eli Tapani doing the switching, and everybody else from the Ballpark Broadcasting crew, I'd like to thank you very much. And we'll see you back here in just a few minutes. Thank you and bye.